Hey guys, okay, so the camera died, so welcome to part two. I'm just going to divide it up into two. Um, y'all know how it is with phones when you end up with one that's more than a couple years old. Anyway, this is the August that I ended up with because it cut off in the middle. All I did after that was just add a few of these cute little blooms, which are so pretty. Yeah, so that's done. I moved on to the weeklies. This is the first week, and it only had a couple August days. So all I did was throw these down at the bottom. Here's the cool thing. So on the right-hand side, if I fold them over, it's exactly the right width. I know, I don't know how that is. I am sure Planner Room designed it that way, and I'm just so impressed. So, I don't know if y'all have noticed or not, but I do have everything in my planner. I have rounded corners. It's just one of my weird little oddities. So I don't get them with rounded corners. I ask my husband very sweetly to do the rounded corners. Y'all are going to need a Dramamine by the time I get done. But I asked my husband very sweetly to round the corners for me, and he's ever so gracious and does that because my hands wouldn't hold up for that. So we all know that we have a ton of washi, right? Doesn't matter. I still don't like to waste it, so I'll turn to the last month in here. Last week, sorry. Last week of the month. Let's get it together, Can. All right. There we go. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Just started raining here. I know that's surprising considering I was just talking about how much rain we're getting, but I actually really love a good thunderstorm, especially in the summer. I love it more if I'm not outside during it. But yeah, I love a good thunderstorm. Okay, so we'll pop that back at the end. There we go. All right, so we've got that. Now, let's see. I don't think I want the green. I could do this, and I think it's vintagey enough that you're not going to be able to tell. I have a hard time getting these started. It could very well be because of my acrylic nails. I don't know, but it's all right. So we're going to pop that there. All right. Now, these came undated. So what I do, I had to put months on them. So I trim this down to that. Fold down the other part so you can still see the month. And then I will just trim that up. I don't care if it's perfect. It's kind of like shabby chic to me anyway. So it is what it is, y'all. Which I've heard is a Gen X saying. I don't know if it is or not, but it's pretty funny if it is. There we go. Ready to go, and then we'll trim off those ends. My only quibble with washi tape is it's really hard to get it to let go of your hands sometimes. Considering it's not even that sticky, it's kind of annoying. So, there we go. Ta-da! All right. I am not going to make you watch me do all that washi tape because personally, I think it would bore me. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So obviously the black is so much easier because, again, it's the exact right width. Yes, width that I need. And you just pop it over. Although I do have something there. Not for me, for my daughter. There we go. So it's not even, but it's okay because I really wanted to make sure I could see what she had going on. Our daughter does still live with us. Like I said, she's 23. And I don't know about rents in y'all's areas, but rents here in our little town are kind of nuts. And it's very difficult to afford to be able to move out by yourself. Our rent is so high that usually you have to be like a double income household to be able to afford it, and she's not married. So, yeah. So we're okay with that. We've got a big enough house that it's not that big of a deal. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with where it was. But this time, because, okay, it did kind of annoy me a little. I'm wondering if I can do that and then cut off the top. I think I might be able to. Let's see. So if I pull it back, there we go. You know what the only problem with this is? You have to guess at where the top is, and I misguessed. Okay. Always an adventure. Okay. So there's that one. Yes, I'm just throwing the washi over there. That should be fun to clean up. That's a future candy problem. And future candy will probably not be happy with that, I'm guessing. So, anyway, speaking of phones, my daughter's phone did stop working the other day due to a screen break, which I think is so weird. Like, if your screen breaks, why doesn't it just keep working? But anyway, we live in a small town. Everything that we need is in larger towns, including all of my specialists. So I had a specialist appointment. We went to that and ended up going to the phone repair place, and they said that the screen, well, they said they had a screen. So he pulled it out of the box, and right out of the box it was broken in almost the exact same place that her screen was, which is so weird. And then they said that other ones were out of stock. Well, it's not like we can turn around and go back because it's 2 hours from home. So he said that he would try to get one this week. So I have another appointment out of town this week. So hopefully we'll be able to get it completely fixed. It's mostly fixed. It does work. But her fingerprint doesn't work, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So, and it really annoys her. Because, you know, you use the fingerprint for everything, for banking, not baking, for banking and other things. So, but at least it works, I guess. Okay, yes, that's all August on the other side. So I'm gonna pop this last piece down. I know this is just thrilling, isn't it? Sorry. So, what is your favorite part about August? If you have kids, is it the fact that they go back to school? Is it the heat? Because I gotta tell you, I am a fan of the hot days. It's sometimes difficult for my body to function when it gets chillier, and the hot days just make me so happy. And I know everybody who wanted summer during the winter is probably now complaining about the hot days. I am not. I do love the summer heat and everything. Okay, so I've got one more to go. And this one I will have to cut. And actually, I know a lot of y'all, your kids may not start until September. Because I think the further north you get, the more you start after Labor Day. Usually our kids here start mid-August. So, okay, so that is done, and now we get to do the fun part. Even though our kids live with us, yes, the older one does as well, we are not responsible for feeding them. So we don't really meal plan right now. We probably should, but we don't. So I can always cover that up with a pretty little thing. I don't know why, but the bear thing is I'm not getting it, so I'm probably not going to use that this month. The way I have my weeks set up is because it's horizontal. Again, I don't work with horizontal well. So the very first square is what I would consider morning stuff, then afternoon stuff, and then either evening or other information, because I'm old and I don't go out in the evenings if I can help it. So a lot of times there's nothing else I need over here, and I can just decorate to my heart's content, which is fine. I kind of like that. And I do tend to go over these. I'll end up, let me see where it is. Here it is. I have this tiny little puncher. I think this came from either the Dollar Tree or Walmart years ago. It has a little holder, but I usually take it off. And then I can see exactly where I'm punching, and then I'll just punch that out later. So I don't worry about going over the holes. All right. This week has already passed, so you know what? I can decorate to my heart's content. Because I've already done all the hard things, right? Yes. A small one over here. The macarons. I have to tell you, I love the idea of them. I don't love eating the macarons. They're okay. They're not great. It's kind of like boba tea. No, thank you. I don't want to chew my drink. I know. Just showing my age here, but yeah. So, all right. So as we go through this, you'll notice that I've got all my stuff going on. No, I have not highlighted yet. This I carry with me. And it's got all of my highlighters. Pink for me, blue for my husband, yellow if it's something that we do together. Purple is for my daughter because pink and blue makes purple. This is Pepper's color for grooming and vet appointments. This is the reminder that I used for last month because I went with the colors. I keep one of these in here for writing on the translucent Post-it notes and flags. This works great for me. I also have a pair of folding scissors in here, just in case. I have a old hotel card in case I need to cut washi or help smooth something down. And then I have a whiteout. I've also got a fountain pen on the front. Do I use fountain pens? Not really, but I like the idea of them. And then I have a micron pen. I really like the PN points. Do I know what PN stands for with that? No, but it's okay. I know what to look for when I purchase one. And then I have a pencil, which, you know, you might need at some point. I did use it here, actually, because I wasn't sure if I was going to change that appointment. So if you're interested, the case is from Milloo, M-I-L-L-O-O, and I purchased it used. So, okay, back to decorating. So anyway, I have what's called limited scleroderma, and it's known as Crest syndrome as well. It's apparently very rare. I will tell you, doctors, when they find out I have it, are very excited because it is so rare. So, yay, I guess. I don't know. That was my first diagnosis. And it actually was quite a relief to be diagnosed and to learn that the symptoms I was having and how I was feeling wasn't just, they weren't all in my head, and there was a reason for them. Is it a joy to have? No. It's caused some pretty serious issues, but I deal with them. I have a really good care team, and we're working on keeping progression of the disease to a minimum, and that's important. If you've got a chronic illness, you kind of know how it goes, and you kind of know that, make sure I'm still in frame, you make sure that you understand your disease and that you have a care team that you trust. And here's the thing, y'all. If you don't like or trust your doctor, or you feel like they should be doing more for you, it's okay to fire them. You and insurance are paying for them, and that's okay. In the U.S. anyway, it is. So, I mean, I have fired a couple of physicians that just weren't working out. I had one cardiologist kept me waiting for an hour and a half in the waiting room after waiting in the exam room after waiting in the waiting room. Walked in, took one look at me. Now, by this point, I literally was laying back in my chair with my feet up. Took one look at me and said, yeah, I think you have anxiety. Never examined me and said, here's a prescription for Ativan. He got fired pretty quickly. I even looked at my husband, and trust me, I have anxiety. I know what anxiety feels like, and that's what I told him. And I looked at my husband, who was in there with me, and I said, do I look anxious? I don't feel anxious. And he's like, no, you're not anxious. I was annoyed that we had waited for so long, but not anxious. So, yeah, don't be afraid to fire your doctor, guys. Sometimes you have to find the right one that works for you. I recently had to change up one of my specialists, not because I didn't like her, but because she's getting ready to retire. And it was kind of sad, but I really like my new doctor. I've been to her once or twice. Oh, the memory goes when you get older. But I do like her, so that's a good thing. All right, and one more page. Like I said, I tend to not decorate too much just in case everything breaks loose and I end up having to have a lot going on that I would rather not. This is my baby's groomer, so she'll get that special color for that. I want one more large-ish one. I'll do the cart. So, yeah. Sitting here looking at this going, something's wrong. And that would be that I need this. That's why I had to trim that one up, which if I thought about it, I would have known, but I didn't. And that's okay. Maybe this channel should be called That's Okay. Oh, yeah, I make myself laugh. It's a good thing. That's why I always tell my husband, I'm like, as long as I can make you laugh, we are doing good. And trust me, he does laugh at me. I'm kind of a nut. So this one gets just a little bit at the top. These washi are from Amazon. I will say you don't get a ton on the roll, which I'm honestly okay with because I don't want to have washi stick around for 10 years. It doesn't stick well after a while. And honestly, don't you kind of get tired of using the same ones? So, yeah. Oop. Haha. It does really stick well. I just stuck it down too hard to the desk. But, yeah, I'm okay with using up my rolls. I don't know that I've ever actually used up a roll of washi, come to think of it. Wow. Which tells you a lot, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. And I may do snip. And snip. I don't know that I have enough to even worry about. And I hope I was in frame. Looking at the time, okay. So, obviously, I will have tracking to update and all that. But I know you don't want to sit here and watch me update tracking. Trying to think what else I need to do to set up. I think that's going to be the biggest part. Now, here comes the decision. Because this kit would totally fit with the hand-stitched leather tee that I have right now. That green would go lovely with this, wouldn't it? But, let me move these over here. I'll put those up with the rest. And yes, I still have to punch holes. All right. Maybe we should lock this and make some of that stuff. Okay. Oh, it's a hot mess. Okay, so here's the first one, the first Traveler's Notebook. This is a speckled fawns built to my specifications. This is the B, and it's got a really cool pocket, and then it's got another one here. And then when you open it up, it's got a flap, and then it's got another flap, and I love it. It smells so good. But it's shockingly heavy, and I know that's from these. And right now, my planner is heavy anyway, which is the biggest thing against it. So, there's that one. Choice number 2. And you're going to see why I really want to use this one. You see? Yeah. So, this is a Planner Perfect one. I don't do anything with them. I just happened, somebody was rehoming it, and I decided it needed a loving home. So, I gave it that. I kind of saved this for August, and I feel like even that would go with it. Pretty good. So we're going to start with this one. I may end up changing out of it. So what I have, and the way that I can make this into rings, is I have a ring mechanism. I order these off of Amazon. I will leave the link below. There are times when I will punch some holes in the back so that I can actually adhere it and make it permanent. I don't have one with me to show you, but I'm not going to do that with this one. One, because I don't want to punch the holes in this, and 2, the last time I used a Planner Perfect and tried to punch the holes in it, my husband had a really hard time punching the holes because I couldn't do it, and he said, we are not doing one of those again. So we are not doing one of those again. And trust me, he lets me do whatever I want. I always tell him he should tell me no, but he doesn't. So we open that. Now, I'm going with one that has 4 strings. So I'm going to take those 2 strings over, over the top and bottom. Okay, see how that worked? And then I'm going to take these and crisscross in the middle. And then we're going to go back over the bottom like that. All right, now we're going to take the other 2, which I'm trying to figure out where it is. It got stuck. There we go. I'm going to take the other 2, the right-hand side. We're going to cross over the top. We're going to crisscross in the middle. And then we're going to cross at the bottom. Okay? All right, now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really having to struggle. It is quite secure. Let me show you. It's not going anywhere. Let me move this up just a little bit so you can see. Okay, so it is not going anywhere. It is secure in there. It's not going to pull out. Not a problem. Problem is, I only have this pocket, and this pocket. That might be a problem. Before we begin anything else, let me pop this on there. This is, it's just a little keychain from Amazon and some beads, and it's got my handle on it. And then I talked about this in the last one, but this is a little leather ruler that I purchased from a local stationery store, and I love this. So, go I'm going to put that there. I don't think, I do have, right here. I do have this ribbon that I could definitely use, but I don't think I want to. I'm trying to decide. I mean, it's kind of brighter than the colors-ish. So I'm going to say no for right now. We're going to put that to the side. So let's, grabbing all of my inserts. We're going to put in what we can, and then I'll punch holes where I need to. Like I mentioned, these this little notepad was from my daughter. She found it at a local bookshop, but I'm sure they're available in other places. You'll notice I say my daughter got me things a lot. She is a very loving person, and her love language, one of her love languages is gifting. And she loves to surprise me with little goodies. She's so sweet that way. So, anyway, all right, so there's, oh, you know what? I have to put these in. That would kind of be the whole point of this. Sorry. All right, so let's go back. We're going to put these in. Do I stress a lot about where they go? I really don't. I'm just looking to see what looks good with it. It's not bad. That's too much. I don't need the August. So, I'm just going to leave that one as is. Put my little divider that says tracking, no, to be read on it. And now, this is my tracking section, which is kind of crazy big. I may need to clean that out. Because I got to tell you guys, I'm kind of bursting at the seams. It definitely would not do me any harm to clean this out some. I try to use the Augusts near the front. Oh, that's so cute. I love that little umbrella. It makes me happy. Right, so we're going to put that there. Put the one that says tracking with it. And honestly, these are part of why it's so thick right now, because I have 5 of these in there. And I did have them out. Then I put them back in. I don't know. Put all these back in. My notes section, I don't know if we've talked about this, is Tomo River paper that I bought a book on Amazon, and I've just taken it out and trimmed it down. If you're interested, I can link that below for you as well. I am an Amazon affiliate, but if y'all know, you don't really get much from it. But just so you're aware, it does help me out a little bit if you click through my links. So, all right, so that one is the notes section. And we're going to do, I think I'm just going to do one. The vellum will make it far less thick than the cardstock will. All right, so now we're going to go back to the beginning because it's so thick I can't put them all in together. Okay, so we have the beginning. I like to put this down there because it kind of protects the dashboards. Let's do this one since it is August. Put these down. Yeah, these are my kids several years ago. I need to get another picture in here. So then this one says monthly. And I do like to include the August here. So we can do, I feel like that doesn't really do anything. Do I have any more? She's so confused. It's not a surprise. Okay, so we'll put the monthlies in here. I do love using yellow, apparently. I didn't realize it until I started looking through my months and seeing how many months I used yellow. But that's okay. I love yellow. It's so cheery and happy. Okay, so that one is okay. I did not, oh, I did. Okay, So this is where we're going to do, like I said, that little punch. If I turn it upside down, I can see exactly where I need to be. Punch it in and get it out. There we go. All right, so there's August and September. We'll finish that up. My sweet baby girl. All right, and then these are the weeklies. So we definitely want August for this one. Put both of those. And then weekly should be fine up until the ones I have to punch for August. You look like you're at the end. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get these taken care of. So like I said, if you guys have any favorite inserts, especially if they're vertical, please, please, please link them below, or let me know where they're from, or head to Instagram and give me a DM. I would love to have some options to look at, because I feel like I just haven't found the right one yet. And I really would like to go ahead and start getting that sorted. I know September is planner season, but I tend to like to have mine done by end of August, because I start scheduling 6-month appointments in June. And so if I can have them taken care of by end of August, then I don't have to carry around 2 different planners, which would be awesome. So anyway, if you have some and you love them, let me know. Bonus points if they're in the US. And I do really need them printed. And I know that adds a huge extra into everything. But oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Okay, so there's what it looks like in there. It's now full. And as you can see, those inserts aren't going anywhere. So that little trick for putting the ring mechanism in there really does work. Yes, it's right there, but it's not going anywhere, I promise you. So, and there's how the inserts, personal ring inserts, fit into, I'm almost positive this is a B6, not a B6 Slim. But I can look and check. So anyway, we're going to call this good. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you coming back, and we will see you next time. Be kind to each other.